Top of it. It's Dylan Alexander. Thanks for checking me out. On today's video, I want to discuss principles and why you as a man should have some sort of principles that you can always go back to and read and make sure you're following, almost like a Bible or a constitution or something like that. You should look at yourself as like a government, some kind of entity that has strict rules that you just don't break, or maybe rarely you bend them sometimes, but mostly not. You really should have strict rules, regulations, and guidelines that you obey no matter what. No matter what life throws at you, you can't break them because they're that important to you. And this is something that I realized throughout my young manhood, and it's even more clear now that I'm a little older. And when you're a young man, it's kind of hard to have the maturity to know what kind of rules you need to follow and what to do, what not to do. And this is something that I knew my OGs kind of had it, and they would always mention it. Like, man, you got to have your principles about you, man. You got to have your principles. And I was like, man, yeah, I get that concept of having principles, but like, what principles do you have? And that's the thing about it. You really can't say everybody has the same principles that they live by. And that's what makes it both beautiful and complicated, because you're the one that's in charge of your world, your entity. You know, like I said, you look at yourself like a government. You know what I'm saying? Every government in this planet, every country has a set of rules. Every business has rules they follow, and they can't break them. And if they start breaking the boundaries that they've set, then they just, anything goes. And next thing you know, they're going to fall apart. And you should look at yourself the same way, right? You have to have some kind of rules. They can be real basic, like, I don't know, I don't go have raw sex with strange women. Right? I don't know why I thought of that, but you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just, you can't break that rule, because it's because if you break that rule, you're going to suffer the consequences of whatever comes with breaking that rule. Let's say I don't eat junk food, whatever. Because you know, if you break these rules, it's not going to be a good aftermath with that. So you have to be the one that decides. And that's the beautiful thing, man. You get to decide your rules of your government, of your entity, of who you are. And if you have to, man, what I did, I would check notes, see what other OGs and successful men, what kind of principles do they live by? You know what I'm saying? Get an idea of how you want to carry yourself. And just think of things and how you want to be. As a man, you should have this vision, this picture of the man you want to be. Right? You can even use, like I said, examples of other great men that you may look up to, and you see, okay, I like how he carries himself. Let me find out, what kind of principles does this guy have? Or, you know, whatever. These role models. And model your principles after that, to give you an idea. It's not to say you entirely follow all of their principles to the T, because we're all individuals, man. But we can all have some kind of guidelines that we have in common. And that's where it's a beautiful thing to have other men that are like-minded, who have similar principles. And you can meet together and you can really build something real with other like-minded individuals. And at the same time, you're able to, you know, when you're dealing with women, and you have these certain principles and rules that you follow, and based on how she sees you carry yourself, she can decide, oh man, is this the kind of guy that I want to really get serious with or deal with? And you can, you don't gotta, and this is what a lot of young guys do. I used to do this, or try to like break down all your rules out the gate, but it's more so you just show her who you are based on your actions, and she's gonna, over time, she's gonna see what your rules and principles and guidelines are. And it's like a turn on. Like me, I don't drink, right? I just don't drink. I don't smoke. And it's like, especially when I have a new woman that I'm dealing with, you know what I'm saying? We be hanging out. Maybe you guys go on a first date. Y'all meet at the bar or out and about, coffee shop or something. And eventually y'all may get to like a place where there's drinks involved, and you're like, me, I'll order a pineapple juice or a cranberry juice or something. And I don't like try to make it obvious or like try to show it like, look at me, I'm ordering the juice and you're ordering alcohol. Look at all these people ordering alcohol. No, it's not that, right? It's just, this is just who I am. I'm just doing this. Like, hey, let me get the pineapple juice, and you carry on, conversation, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of times women will notice that, and they'll just bring it up like, wait, you don't drink? You don't want no alcohol with that? And then you just like, oh no, baby, I don't drink, no. And you don't make much of it, and then she like, sometimes they get interested by it because it's not normal, right? Most guys just order drinks and they get drunk or whatever on the first date, which is not a good look, by the way. But I mean, some guys that order a little drink, one drink, whatever. But a lot of times women will be like, kind of, because it's so abnormal, right? And they'll be like, well, they'll start digging into it, like, well, why don't you drink? Have you always not drinking? Like, now that's a whole conversation y'all can have talking about that. And it just makes you look a little cooler in their eyes or whatever. I'm just saying, that's an example of your principles on display without you trying to make it the forefront of the conversation. You're not trying to, make it like a pretentious thing. You get what I'm saying? So I think that's important. It's just interesting, man. When you have your principles, and you'll impress yourself, right? When you start to just write down these principles, or they're in your head, and you just follow them. And you're gonna find yourself some days where you just don't feel like following certain principles and rules, and you might start breaking them. And that's when you really start to test yourself and see if you really about your rules, if you really are the one that's abiding by your rules. And that's what really makes you who you are, right? Now, behind closed doors, you get to see if you the real deal. Because it's nice to say, I have X, Y, and Z principles, and it sounds good. People like, oh, that's nice, ooh. But are you really obeying those? Are you really following those when nobody's watching? You see? Now, if you do follow them when nobody's watching, that's where confidence is built right there. That's where you cement that real fortitude of who you are and what makes up your foundation of your manhood, of your being who you are. When you impress yourself. And now it's like, man, this is me. Now it's really cemented in your being, in your fibers of who you are, right? And I've gotten to that point many times with many different principles that I have. And then once you reach that point, it's just, you don't even think about it now. It's just like, yeah, this is what I do. I don't drink. Yeah. Yeah, I work out every day, often. Yes. Yes. Yeah, I put a condom on for every strange chick. Yes. Whatever, right? And so, yeah, man, it's important to have them. You got to have something that you abide by, because this life is full of tests. It's full of temptations. It's full of seeing if you got the goods, seeing if you really are who you say you are. And if you're religious, man, look, I believe the Most High is testing people, man. It's testing you to see if you really about it. And you get to see if you pass or not. A lot of people don't pass, man. A lot of people just let a lot of stuff go. And they just follow the crowd. Like me right now, for the past almost 2 months, I haven't had any meat. And this has been something I've been trying to do for the past 2 years. Well, I go like a whole week no meat, then I have once a week I have meat, and I've slowly been working my way to get to this point. And I realized, man, just cut it out. Just stop eating it. That's me. Not pushing that on y'all, but I do recommend it, but that's just me. And I want to lead by example and show what's possible, because I know what's possible. Now, I want to prove it to myself before I try to prove it to the world. You understand? And I still get tested. I still get tempted. Man, I find myself sometimes I mess around and get on Facebook for whatever reason. And you know how Facebook does. You be scrolling. Man, Facebook, these social media platforms are really good at just getting you to scroll and stay on them. They got that science figured out. And so I'm on Facebook. I mess around, scroll. I see the little section where there's a bunch of reels, and then the reels show something that just catches your attention. You can't help but to click on that thing. And what I find is a lot of times Facebook knows how to show me some reels of somebody eating some food that is just terrible for. I know it's bad food. It's a bunch of stuff that I used to love to eat. Burritos and sandwiches and pizza, spaghetti. It's everything. Pasta. Oh man, all the good food. I'm like, man, oh man. And it shows a snapshot of that perfect picture that'll just get your attention. You like, I gotta click that. And I be messing around. I be clicking it, man. Oh, I be clicking it, man. I be like, damn. You know, them people that be sitting in their car doing the food reviews. They eating the food. It's all this. They got the crunch sound and it's all juicy. You be like, damn, got all the cheese on it. Oh man. Oh man. Like in my mind, I'm like, man, I don't want to eat that. I'm not eating that stuff. But I mess around. I be watching it. I just be watching it like, damn. Y'all be eating that shit. Y'all know y'all stomach is all effed up after this. Y'all gonna be sitting on that toilet. Kidneys about to be struggling. But these people they're young in their 20s. So I'm like, yeah, y'all eating all that. I used to eat like all of that crazy stuff. But I'm like, man, nah, I have to constantly get back to my principles and that fortitude of my being that I'm building. It's a new thing for me, right? It's still new. So sometimes I go back and I know I shouldn't be watching that. It's damn near like watching porn. That's something I used to joke about, but it really is. Watching people eat all this gluttony, all this food, it's like watching porn. For me, I'm like, because it just makes me want to eat it. And since I was a kid, I used to watch the Food Network. I used to love watching it because the food looked good, and I'm just like, damn. I'm getting ideas and anyways, my point about that is I'll be watching this stuff and I'm like, I'm not gonna eat that kind of stuff, but I'm like, okay, when I'm gonna go on this streak of just cleaning my body out, and eventually I can eat different kind of stuff here and there, a little, you know what I mean? Little, go to restaurants sometimes that serve a particular food that I'm like, okay, this is tolerable, right? But man, I'm like, man, it's like I'm testing myself. I'm just watching this stuff and I want to eat. I'm like, man, that I know that tastes so good, but I'm not eating that. And I'm just eating like grapes or something while I'm watching. I'm eating apple or some melon or whatever, and I'm just like, this is discipline right here. I'm really sticking to my principles. I'm testing myself, and I'm passing. Even though I know I shouldn't be watching this, but hey, at least I'm not eating it, right? And so I know I got the goods, man. I know when I'm out in public, when I'm with people, I'm at a restaurant, I'm gonna order what I get, and y'all get what y'all get. But I'm still gonna stick to my principles right here, and it's really setting my foundation firmly on what I'm doing and how I'm moving. And you should be able to have that same strength for whatever you're doing, even if it's a new principle you're trying to implement into your life. You should have no problem with sticking to it and stop getting off the path. Stay strong on that path, man. Because there's a lot of people living the wrong way. And just because somebody else is doing it doesn't mean you need to do it. That's another thing you got to remember, man. You can get caught up in that real easily. It's so easy to say, oh, man. I mean, they're all doing it and they're not dying, They're okay. And you just accept it just because, what could one hurt? Just one. Let me do one. One won't hurt. And then one turns into two. And then two turns into seven. And now you back on that bullshit. You get me? So you got to cut it out. Get back on your grind. Stay on your journey. Stay on your road. Everybody's living their own road, man. You got to remember that. And that's something I remember. Like, man, they not on my path. I'm on my own path. I'm doing something different. I don't even want to explain it to them because it's too much to break it down. I done did too much research. I'm not about to just vomit all this information to their face. Nah. If they want to ask, I'll tell them, but this is what I'm doing. I'm gonna respect what y'all doing, but this is what I'm doing. And it's just how it is. And that's how you gotta be with your principles, your rules, your regulations and guidelines. Okay? So, hey, stick to it. Because it's gonna pay off no matter what you're trying to do. You set out to have those principles for a reason. Okay? But that's it, man. I appreciate y'all watching. Leave a like if you like it. Subscribe if you mess with me, man, and comment. Let me know what you think, man. What's y'all's principles? You know what I'm saying? Something you're trying to implement into your life. Let me know. All right? But I appreciate y'all watching, man. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Peace.